Hello wonderful viewers, I welcome you to today's tutorial. Today I'll be taking you through on how I made this Paw Patrol cake. This is an edited video, so a lot has been edited out, but I will do my best to take you through in detail on how I made this cake. So this is an 8 inches cake, 3 layers of 8 inches cake. The 3 of it stacked together makes up 7.5 inches tall cake. So right after I finished stacking the 3 layers of my cake with my buttercream, I went ahead to trim the excess part off to avoid any bulge at the end of my work. Like you see, I trimmed off my cake holding my knife in a landscape style, unlike what so many bakers does, holding their knife straight upwards while trimming their cake. I don't know how to make that style, so it's very advisable. You do what works best for you when it comes to cake designing, like I am doing with my trimming. So right after I finished trimming my cake, I covered my cake, I crumb coated my cake with a thick buttercream. I made my buttercream to be thick because the weather right now in my city is not friendly. So I made the buttercream to be thick to avoid a sweating cake at the end of my work. And I urge you to do the same whenever you find out that the weather in your city is hot. Right after I finished crumb coating my cake, I placed my cake in the fridge for 1 hour plus to chill and be ready for fondant covering. And I did not allow it to extend more than 1 hour plus. Right after 1 hour plus, it was time to bring out the cake from the fridge. But first, I had to get the fondant ready before bringing out the cake from the fridge. So I already massaged the fondant off camera and rolling it out because it needs to get ready. I need to roll it out to the desired wideness. That will be enough to cover my cake. Right after I finished rolling out my fondant, I applied an edible glue to it to help stick to my cake very easily and avoid my cake, to avoid me finding it difficult to stick my fondant to the cake. Just in case you don't know the actual wideness that your fondant needs to be to cover up your cake or a certain cake, then you need to get a measuring tape. Even if you become familiar with the sizes of cake you make usually, you still need a measuring tape, that of the ones that tellers use. You need it because sometimes you might get order that is quite different from ones you've been making often, so you actually need it. Like way back, if you watch my videos, you see that I often use tapes to measure my cake and also measure my fondant while I am rolling out my fondant. But once I'm making an usual cake like this, I don't measure anymore because I am acquainted to it already. I already know the length of fondant that will be enough. So right after I finished covering my cake with my fondant, it was time to achieve my sharp edge. So I applied my I dusted with a cornstarch and I flipped it downwards with a mat. This is a mat. Then I use a smoother to pinch out the tips. Watch closely, you see how I pinched out the tips. Okay, be gentle with your cake, please. Then after that, I used my flexible smoother to trim up those excess parts that I pinched out, and that was how I achieved my sharp edge. Don't mind the editing part, it took me time. Okay, like I said, achieving my sharp edge took me longer time than you see in this video. It was edited out. Then normally, to get my cake border, I roll out my fondant in a long sausage, wrap it around my cake to measure it, then before I flatten with my rolling pin, and then I trim off the both excess parts, and then that's how I achieve my cake border without much stress and excessive use of fondant. Yes, that is another advantage of making your cake border this way. Then to achieve this cake border, actually the first one I rolled, I made a mistake with it, so I have to roll a different one off camera and then I compiled everything together, trying to wrap it around my cake. I compiled the first one, my beginning of the video, and then this part actually. So this one I'm wrapping around my cake now wasn't what you saw me rolling at the first time. So I edited it out. I rolled my fondant again off camera. So that is one of the things you should bear in mind when you watch tutorials on online. Not most of everything you watch happens the way it is off camera. Yeah, we all make mistakes. As promised at the beginning of this video, that this is a well detailed cake tutorial. So I'm still keeping my promise. I'm going to be telling you the parts that I made mistakes and the parts that I was perfect. I'm not going to be leaving any detail behind. So right now I started out by tracing my logo with a pencil. I'll first trace it. These are this logo consists of 4 layers before the Paw Patrol write-up. Consists of 4 layers. It has the blue, the white, another blue, and the red topper, and then the write-up, and lastly the kind of bone, bone shaped this thing logo as well. But I will advise you, when you want to download this logo, please go for the templates that are separate. You will find the templates like this badge. Actually, you will find them separated. Each layer of the badge were separated, and as well the alphabet, the Paw Patrol write-up, is as well separated. It's best you go for that one. This one was quite difficult for me to trace because the Paw Patrol, the bone shaped logo was covering some parts of this badge, so I have to guess to trace that part. And if you're not good at tracing, if you have not been doing that, it's going to be difficult for you to do. So please go for the separated template to make it quite easier for you. And then these are supposed to be 4 layers of badge: the blue, the white, another blue, and red. But instead of cutting 4 layers, I cut the first blue, the white, and red. So the 3rd layer, I just had to roll a tiny fondant, and then I wrapped it around in between the red and the white. You can see it there, and then it made up the 3rd layer. So I went off camera as well to trace and to cut the paw and the dog, the paw and the bone the bone shaped logo. So I cut them offline. I traced and cut them offline. So this my paw have 3 layers. It have the yellow, it have the dark blue, it have the sky blue. So I just went ahead to cut the inner one, which is the sky blue. Then I wrapped the dark blue with a tiny rolled fondant and the yellow as well to make up the 3 layers, instead of going ahead to cut from yellow to blue and to the sky blue. It's going to be a hell of work for me. So I made it this way, and it came out just perfectly fine. It was good and okay. Please, if you have watched to this extent and you are yet to subscribe to my channel, I beg you, please do subscribe to my channel. Subscription is absolutely free. It is free and it means nothing to you, but it means a whole lot to me. Please subscribe to my channel. And if you are my returning subscriber, I say a whole lot of thank you. Yes, thank you so much for always supporting this channel and for growing this channel with me. I do really appreciate that wonderful love. Please don't forget to like this video as well, share with a friend, share with a family member. Let's grow this channel together. I do appreciate the love. Thank you so much for always supporting this channel. I really did forget to add this part, so I'm doing it right now. So before I add my printouts to my cake, I first place a little fondant at the back before sticking it to my cake. Right here is just a normal printout, it's not edible. Okay, I stopped printing out edible printouts for my cakes because my customers, they don't eat this cake fondant. I've been to so many occasions where I delivered my cake, they don't eat it at all. And the edible printout is quite expensive to just make, and at the end of the day everything goes down, no one eats it. So I started to be making just normal printout, add a little fondant to the back and stick to my cake. Yep. Thank you so much for watching to this extent. I do really appreciate it. Please turn on the notification bell so you can always be notified whenever I put a new video. Bye.